Mercedes-Benz South Africa is recalling just over 13,000 cars that sold and manufactured between 2006 and 2019 due to possible brake failure issues. The National Consumer Commission is calling on ML, GL Model Series 164 and R-Class Model Series 251 owners to stop driving these vehicles and contact Mercedes-Benz immediately. For an update on this, I'm joined by Thezi Mabuza, Acting National Consumer Commission Commissioner. It's a bit of a mouthful there, Thezi, but very good afternoon and thanks so much for speaking to us. Now, the first of these vehicles was manufactured in 2006, which is 16 years ago. Is this the standard sort of period before such an issue can be raised?
Yes, I think that when you're looking at the lifespan of a vehicle, normally your vehicle will last for about 20 years. And in the process, when they are doing a recall, is that during the lifespan of that particular vehicle, when something happens wherein they have collected trends and all that, then they are allowed really to recall and alert consumers because it's something that you would pick up over time, over continued use.
Now, how do they establish this exact number of 13,159 vehicles? I mean, it's pretty precise.
Yes, it's very sizable, but I think looking at the number of vehicles that are around, especially that have been produced by Mercedes-Benz, and over these years, actually, it's a period of about, let's say for now, a period of about 13 years, but then 13,000 vehicles. So it's a sizable number, and the reason that we came in as the National Consumer Commission as well is that even if you can trace back on the number of vehicles that would have been bought, and then you know exactly who has bought it. But because of the time period, is that the vehicles might have changed hands maybe a number of times, let's say 3 or 4 times, or maybe some of them could have been maybe some heirlooms and all that, then people would not really have known or so on, so the suppliers themselves can't contact the consumers directly. So we are stepping in as a National Consumer Commission to assist the suppliers and the consumers to make sure that we rectify or correct the issue.
Now, do we know if any of these defects have caused any accidents here in South Africa?
We don't know really for now, but because certain times when incidences like this happen, they might be isolated. And then you would find that when there was an accident, a person would have said, I tried to brake my vehicle, I tried to apply brakes, but they failed. But I think with recalls like this, they are being done when there has been a trend in a number of countries with similar incidences that will be affecting those models. So even if we don't have any that has been reported, we can't rule it out that it hasn't happened in South Africa.
Now, what recompense is available to the owners of these vehicles?
The recourse for now that is available, because now the consumer has enjoyed the use of the vehicle, all that would be available for them is for them to take the vehicles back to Mercedes-Benz for that anomaly to be corrected, or for that weakness to be corrected. But then because they will be without a vehicle for a number of days, or maybe for the period that which the vehicle will be still being fixed, then Mercedes-Benz, on their side, they would have made arrangements to make sure that there is alternative transport for the consumer if they don't have any other means of getting themselves around.
Now, this announcement has just been made public. Is there a grace period for drivers or owners of these vehicles to return them to Mercedes-Benz?
Actually, the recall itself, we have been informed late during May, but then endlessly, because they had to make some arrangements from their side to make sure that they have courtesy vehicles, they have those parts available for them to do the correction. Hence, now we are ramping up to say that please, motorists, just take your vehicles back. But then it has been a process so that they had to be, because of the number of vehicles, they have to be prepared.
2 issues, Thezi. Who is liable if there is an accident that occurs while the owner of the vehicle is driving to Mercedes-Benz at this moment? I suppose is my first question. And then if there is a grace period after that grace period and the person hasn't returned the vehicle but is again involved in an accident due to brake malfunction, if that is a problem.
Firstly, when there is problem like this, wherein it has been identified that there has been a problem, as I said, that in this case, people might have been involved in accidents and they were not aware. But then from the analysis of the accident, they were informed that the cause was because of the brake failure. And in this case, though that in those kind of issues, both the retailer and the manufacturer are liable. So in instances wherein you would find that maybe your insurances would have covered that based on the analysis of the accident that it was caused by that brake failure, then in this case, then the consumer has a recourse, that would be a recourse from the supplier wherein now he has to be compensated for that. But then if in this instance now you have been informed as the consumer to say there is this recall that's going on and you continuously drive that vehicle, in this case you would also be negligent. But then if you can prove that it happened on your way there and then you have made the arrangements and all that it has happened, then in this case again the supplier will be liable. But then again the onus is on you as a consumer, because we are in this campaign, we are using this platform as you have given us to make sure that everybody is aware. But then Mercedes-Benz on their side is looking also at the VIN numbers that are available to try and contact those people that might not have been aware individually, but we are ramping up so that it's actually known, and then the messages can be passed over to those owners.
Now, we played with a number of 13 years as the period that we've had to wait before this announcement was made. Now, I would imagine that certain vehicles may have been sold off to individuals that are in other parts of the continent, if you will. In that situation, who's responsible for shipping the vehicle to South Africa, or is it shipped or taken to a Mercedes-Benz supplier in Zimbabwe, in Namibia, or Swaziland, for instance?
In instances like that, especially where in vehicles would have changed hands, it is now the owners of that owner to contact their branch, their local supplier of Mercedes-Benz, wherever they are, especially in the continent or within the SADC countries, then they will be directed. Normally, Mercedes-Benz or the supplier would have a call, like in this case, we have a call center number wherever you are that you can call, wherein then Mercedes-Benz will direct you exactly how to go about it. But then if there is as we said, an anomaly like this one, it's the responsibility, the risk of kind of like getting the vehicle back to where it's supposed to be fixed is the responsibility of the supplier. So in this case, it might not be shipped back to South Africa, but then there will be a center where it will be sent in that particular country.
Now, in recalls of this magnitude, what is a normal success rate, or what sort of percentage number of vehicles are actually taken back to Mercedes-Benz or vehicle manufacturer in order for that problem to be rectified?
Because vehicles are the second most expensive commodity that most of us would have, normally the correction rate that we have seen, it would normally exceed around 80%. But then the numbers that would not be kind of like recovered or maybe corrected, then there will be a tracing whether the vehicle was written off or something happened. Because if a vehicle is written off, then they can go to e-natives and check what had happened to that vehicle. So really the correction rate in this case, it's normally very high, as I've said.
Now, finally, as the National Consumer Commission, what are the rights that I have as a driver of one of these vehicles? Just obviously, people will be thinking, how do I not get shortchanged? When I drive to the Mercedes-Benz dealership, do I insist on being provided a vehicle to use during the time that they're fixing it? Or are they liable to play some form of other support, if you will, for the time that my vehicle is not available for use?
In instances like this, as we said, that when there is such a campaign, the manufacturer, Mercedes-Benz, actually has made room or accommodation for those scenarios wherein they might not have enough courtesy vehicles, wherein when the vehicle is taken in, then they can give you a courtesy vehicle. They will make arrangements that as a consumer, you've got the right to the use of that vehicle because you have paid for it. And then as a National Consumer Commission, we will step up in instances where now, as the consumer, that right to redress or to be assisted is denied, is then that we will be contacted, and then we would make sure that the consumer is set in a position wherein they can enjoy use of a vehicle while their vehicle is being repaired.
Thezi, before we let you go, how is the National Consumer Commission contactable should people have questions to ask or not be satisfied with the service received and the process of this recall?
As the National Consumer Commission, we can be contacted at 012-488-7000. There we have a contact center wherein the contact center agents will be able to guide you on how to file a complaint, and also as well so that if maybe in this instance, then we have a number of complaints as the commission as well, wherein people will just raise number of issues to say that I went to this Mercedes-Benz in general, and then because also on our Twitter handle as well, to say that this will be the area wherein I went, and this is the problems that I am facing as a consumer, then we can be able to contact Mercedes-Benz and say, in a number of your centers that you had established really to correct these issues, this is what we are getting. So consumers as well can get in touch with the NCC at our Twitter handle, which is at the NCC_RSA. So you can still use our Twitter handle, and then you will be assisted. That is at the NCC_RSA. Or call us at 012-428-7000. Then we'll be able to assist you and direct you. But please, just the Twitter handle will be enough for us to follow up with Mercedes-Benz, so that if there are any glitches that are being experienced by our consumers, then we'll be able to intervene and together with Mercedes-Benz assist that consumers get the redress that they need.
And finally, sorry, one more time, the website where people can find out more information. Obviously, people will be keen to see if their models are amongst those that have been recalled.
Yes, we will. Again, the recall has been uploaded on our website. We are at www.thencc.gov.za. We are at thencc.gov.za. That is our website.
Thezi Mabuza is the Acting National Consumer Commissioner and speaking to us about Mercedes-Benz, which has recalled a little over 13,000 vehicles. For more information, you can go onto that website, www.themcc.gov.za.